1, 2. I can hear you.
3, 4.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I guess 5, 6.
Hold up.
God and see more. Just one of the fun-filled things that happens here on the island is our truck is still not fixed. So we have to walk to the store, and the hill to the store is about a 40% grade, which is tiring going up. And if you forget to change into your walking shoes as opposed to your boots, it fucks your little toe up. Because you were carrying all that weight, and it is cramming into the front of the boot. Just be skinny then.
It sounds like you have missized boots, but otherwise...
Well, no, it's a 200-pound me plus a backpack full of beer and food coming downhill. So it's about 280 pounds. Morning.
Well, hey, Gigi, how we doing?
Did you say morning?
Yes, I did.
I suppose if you live on the other side of the world, it could be morning, but okay, I'll take it. I'm alright. Getting settled. Turning the fan on.
How you feeling?
Much better than I was last week.
Good.
He brought home a stomach bug.
Beat them with a stick. Yo, I was sick too last week, but not on Friday. It was like a day bug. It was really weird. Yeah, those 48-hour flus will kick your ass for real and then just disappear for no apparent reason.
Oh yeah, I was like so sick. We had to, I didn't realize what was going on at the time, and we were out doing laundry. And then we went to the dollar store. So I'm walking around the dollar store. And I'm like, oh, we might want to go in the car. Let's go.
We gotta go now.
Well, on a good note, I don't know how well it's gonna work, but I got myself like one of those little hummingbird thingies to put outside on the tree. I'm gonna see if I can coax some hummingbirds to my house
And have them for dinner?
No, they're entertainment for the cats.
So the cat can have them for dinner. Got it. Oh, dude,
No,
I've had hummingbirds around. I've had hummingbirds around my house in 4 different states. I have yet to see a cat catch one, but it is entertaining to watch them try.
Yeah, that's the point. Like I said, I have indoor cats, but they're not. Even if they were outdoor cats, I doubt they'd catch them. So are we ready to fight some lupines and die? Or we good?
We can befriend the lupine. How many times do I have to say this?
I'll see how well you do that. I will watch and learn.
Get the line to murder Evelyn.
There is no amount of this will be fine that's going to make Marcus believe that'll happen.
It will be. It'll be perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should send John to talk to Senator Dia in Dalton and ask her how the lupine thing went.
Or we can find the Thin Bloods and start a revolution.
All right, so we'll give a few more minutes because we're just a little bit past the hard start, and I have not heard from either Nikki or Leonetti, but I see them as being active, so I'm going to give them a few moments to gather themselves as best as possible. You know how tricky the nets can be from time to time, and try to be. And we
Absolutely.
And we'll give them a few moments, but just a few moments. So yeah, while we wait and offer a little grace, is there?
Don't say rouse. Don't say rouse.
Is there any questions, suggestions, hypotheses, or corners we need to round off?
Okay, so we made it off the highway and we ended up where we were going, or we haven't quite got there yet?
We just passed the welcome to Walkerton sign.
Yes, that's what it was. At this point, I want to, reach over the radio and put on Come Together by the Beatles. Come together now, more than me.
I think that'll be fine as long as you're not touching the radio and the bug. Because then it's going to be rush hour all over again.
Wait, what car am I in? Who am I with then? Am I with Marcus?
Yes.
Gigi? Yes, Marcus.
You're with Marcus. You were contained.
I am contained.
Barely.
How dare
The
you?
Camaro doesn't have the Camaro doesn't have back doors, so you have to push forward one of the front doors, or push forward one of the seats, and then crawl out. So you were contained.
I can just jump out the fucking window in the back. Anyways.
It's considerably stronger than you think, and John isn't the most physically imposing members of the coterie.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am like so. I can fight a fucker. Totally. No, I can't. Well, I mean, if I had a knife, I could.
Uh-huh. So, no questions, no suggestions, no hypotheses or corners. They were peering around.
Okay, so wait, this was not the place that we thought Arthur was. We were coming here because John felt drawn here. Is that where we ended up going?
Yes, you all went to Walkerton instead of to the last known place for Arthur.
All based upon one of my.
So if it all goes bad, we know who to kill. Yeah.
These are not me. How dare you?
So even running away from things, you don't have to be the fastest, it's not the slowest.
Immediately thinks of the scene where Shane in The Walking Dead shoots that dude in the ankle when running away from a horde.
There is nothing that you have to only do to focus. My name is Shannon, and I am American Military University graduate.
All right, Marcus, love you to death, but you're gonna have to mute between you actually speaking. Your background is louder than your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm going into the quiet room. Normally I go outside, but it's cloudy today.
With a chance of meatballs. And speaking of meatballs and a nice hearty meal, I'd like to thank you all for being here. There's no other way to say that play matters to me a considerable deal, and I appreciate the time that we've shared thus far, and I really earnestly do look forward to what we can wreak with these characters, what we can explore, and the moments that we can dance through and entertain ourselves with. And it really does mean a lot. Thank you all so much for being here. Without too much more belaboring of time and our patience, I'd like to say that this is officially Steel Hearts, Rusted Souls, episode 3 of season 4. Filled spaces vibrating electrically. This is a extremely brief recap to where we are now. The coterie was tasked by Baron Stevens, the undisputed Baron of Gary, Indiana. The power behind the throne finally upon it, to clean their slates, to erase the taint of their outright initial steps towards rebellion. They were tasked with a job, with a fetch mission, if you will. The Mad Bomber himself, Arthur Caldwell, in conducting business for the barony, has gone missing. Their mission that they chose to accept was to find him, to find what became of him, and if possible, bring him home. The implication of safe, of course, but never expressly stated, leaving the doorway open to all sorts of potential political machinations that they could get their minds up to. In the doing, in the planning, in the bickering of deciding what steps to take, how best to achieve their goals, the coterie took a detour. They took the long way round. John insisting that they go to Walkerton, Indiana. Miles and miles more out of the way, through hazardous country where every shadow could pertain the unbridled aggression of lupine. In fact, on their travel there, they witnessed such a thing potentially being in the offing. And as such, when we left them, they had just passed the Welcome to Walkerton town. Walkerton sign. It's a population of 666 and 1/4 members of the population. The sign itself was festooned with very untalented graffiti, signs and sigils and markings here and there. And entering into the town that would at best be a neighborhood in Gary, they find themselves with the town stretching out before them at a small decline from where they sit at the exit of the expressway, just off of Highway 6. To their left, in their convoy, to their right, as they exit off of Highway 6 to head into main town. West of them is the cemetery, which has far more headstones than there should be residents in the city. Straight down the road past them, they can see all sorts of bikers and the like, making a left onto Indiana Street. Further down, there's a few neons and signs for roadside restaurants and the like, because while they have exited the actual expressway, Highway 6 is still a very well used local speedway. So the main street, the main road of town, being the main ways to enter and exit the town. The question now becomes, for them, with night coming, with their place in continued existence, anybody's guess, what will the coterie do for lodgings? What will the coterie do to maintain their continued immortality another night, to find whatever it is they are here to find?
Well, we have 3 cars we got to get rid of, or put someplace where they're not going to raise too much of a fuss, and a bunch of people. I think the hotel would make a good central stopping co-location point. The bathrooms and the closets of the rooms tend to either have no windows or very small windows. And if we really need to, the trunk of a Camaro is big and light tight. So pick a couple of hotel rooms and we pack ourselves in. We can be sure of a place to be when the sun decides to peek its ugly little head out.
As Mark makes these suggestions, what is it that you all are attempting? Is everyone of an accord, or does anyone have anything to say?
Well, that would make the most sense. I mean, obviously, if you find like a cheaper motel, it might be a little gross, but nobody's gonna ask too many questions or bat an eye as to like what these outsiders are doing here. So maybe they'll just be passing through.
Cassie, have a thought?
I would say, yeah, we should probably find a motel. Agreed.
The Camaro's gonna get ahead of the Ferrari and point them at the Motel 8, Motel 6, Sheridan, whatever it is that was nearby. I figure it's going to be a serious, like, supernatural level motel.
Well, here's the thing, and this is the funny thing, is you all slowly move through town, your rolling convoy standing out as if you spray painted yourself a second head and tattooed a stranger all across your face. You find that the town proper is surprisingly quiet, even for a town of 666 and 1/4 individuals. There's almost no one on the street. The noise from the bikers that you saw ahead of you when you were further north and west of where you ease through town, looking up and down the side streets as you make a go of it, you realize that a place such as this, a place as small town America as this, even they should have something close to or just off the main thoroughfare where one could lodge for the night. Sadly, That is not, in fact, the case. There's no Motel 6, there's no Super 8s, there's no Hamptons or Wyndhams or Marriotts, there's no Intercontinentals, there's a dearth of places to welcome tourists. And just as you are easing past Virginia Street and nearly giving up the ghost, just past the McDonald's there, which, unlike every other McDonald's you've seen anywhere else in America, is, and with no exaggeration, housed in what was formerly a gas station. The only thing missing from the islands where the pumps are the pumps themselves, but it literally was a poorly renovated gas station. And that is almost heartbreaking. And just as you're giving up the ghost, as you're passing Virginia Street, there north on Virginia Street, nearly right at the edge of what you see as the suburban residential areas of the town, there is a Hotel Walkerton. Not a Super 8, not a Motel 6, not an extended stay, nothing national. It is the definition of out of the way. It's the definition of small town. And unfortunately, it seems to be one of the few substantially renovated and modernized buildings that you've seen. It's massively tall, 3 stories of brick and mortar stand out as most of the other homes are frame or worse. You can swear to God, if you were to put money on it, that some of those homes are old-fashioned mud-walled homes with siding thrown over top. You can't be too sure, and it wouldn't be the most hospitable thing to do to go inspect someone's home, but you are fairly sure that this is the definition of claptrap and worse as the standard.
Well, seeing as we have not found anything else, Camara's gonna peel off and get into the parking lot, and hopefully people will follow.
Yeah, I would climb out of the back seat, groaning and moving my head a bit, making sure my neck is fully attached to my head.
Oh, just barely, because as you all crossed Harrison and then crossed an honest to goodness unnamed street, which is completely unheard of everywhere in the world, especially here in America. It's a street that goes north, west, and southeast like all of the other streets, but there's no name. There's no corner sign that to denote or delineate what that street is, but it is clear that you've crossed the Rubicon. Those claptrap sided houses that you've passed that line the streets on both sides of you give way to an honest to goodness fully paved road, not just a blacktop with gravel sitting next to it. There's actual sidewalks running laterally up and down the street as you get to the hotel. The one thing that stands out is that unlike every other place you have stayed, have heard of, and have operated out of, there's not so much as a parking lot as an empty field between the hotel and its nearest neighbor, which looks to be a dilapidated farm. The cars are parked as best as they can. Some parked bumper to bumper, others parked side by side. And it's clear that you are not the only out-of-towners, because there are 6 other vehicles in this field.
As we kind of park and pull in, I know we're looking at the vehicles. I just out of curiosity, I'm looking at like the grass and like field around those cars to see if maybe they were recently parked or maybe they've been sitting a while because I'm having a bad feeling.
Okay. Would you be so kind as to roll your wits plus either drive or survival? And do you have any heightened senses ability? Oblivion sign, heightened senses, that sort of thing.
May I help with that roll?
What roll? GG is staring at the cars in the field. What are you doing?
Well, I was going to say I was going to look at the cars if any of them seem out of place.
That doesn't require a roll. You are in a town that has, so far as you've passed, exactly 24 streetlights. From the moment that you've come into the boundaries of this town to where you are in this village, a town, a community center as large as this, based on how sprawling things are, 24 street lamps provide just enough light to say it's not completely dark, but barely just enough.
Okay, you said it was drive and what?
Wits, either wits and drive or wits and survival.
And yeah, there's no like heightened sense. I got shadow cloak and shadow cast, but I don't think either of those add to my ability to see in the dark.
They do not. Looking at the cars, their ages, their make and model, most of them are, strangely enough, American-made cars, or at least, purportedly American-made cars. There's Chevys, Fords, there's a Buick, and it is clear that these vehicles, as far as you can tell, have been here a while.
I very carefully walk myself over to Marcus's vehicle and lean over. I have a very, very bad feeling about this place. Them cars are not new. They ain't been moved in a while. You see the grass growing up around them? What happened to the people that drove them cars?
That is not a good sign.
Oh, which one looks the oldest car that's been there?
Oh, the one that's probably sat the longest? Oh, that's easy.
Oh, wait.
That'd be the Buick.
I just realized, do I want to do that, though? I need sustenance.
Getting the car?
Do I want to risk it for a biscuit? And get to up to 5 hunger, or possibly not 500, and figure out what happened here, or no? Ooh. I want to touch. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna touch. I'm gonna touch the Buick and see. I'm gonna risk it for a biscuit. Unless one of y'all stop me and you don't want me possibly getting up to 5 hunger.
You actually touch a car. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad idea, especially in a small town like this. Like, John, what the hell are you doing?
going to touch the car
Why are you going
what
to touch the car?
to figure out what happened. Why these cars are still here. If there's anything out of the ordinary or not.
I think we've determined that something is out of the ordinary. The question before us is whether we risk driving back out of town to find a hotel or take our chances here. We have to have a place to retreat to. We're too far away from anything we know.
Does the farmhouse look inhabited, or like it's not anymore?
You don't see any lights on, but you haven't seen any lights on in most of the buildings.
And is it just the one big like farmhouse, or do they have like a barn?
Yeah, there's a dilapidated barn closer to the hotel than the actual farmhouse itself.
I mean, hey, if the hotel's abandoned, means free staying.
I'm guessing there are lights on at the hotel, though, not the barn.
Correct.
Thing is, if it weren't for the fact that we'd be dead to the world during the day, I wouldn't care, because we could probably take almost anything that came at us, except for lupines, but I don't trust that we'd go in there and not wake up chained to some kind of weird tables and experimented on, or who knows what.
That is my concern, considering what you noticed. These cars are indicative. This isn't the kind of place somebody comes to town and stays at the hotel for days or weeks on end. It's like we have three options. Try to hide in the barn, get a place at the hotel, or bug out and find a sewer to jump into.
When Marcus says sewer, the brow looks at, and she motions to herself, do I look like I would be in a sewer to you?
Yeah, I know, G.
We could sleep in the back of our cars.
The Ferrari and the Bug don't have any trunk space to speak of, and maybe two of us will squeeze into the Camaro, but five of us? That'd be a bit of a stretch. I think we can make do. Take the strongest building as a choice. Jump into the hotel and buttress up in a single room.
I mean, the hotel seems fun.
Well, they all
We
seem.
can barricade the door.
Yeah. I think that's the concern is, I say we grab two rooms, and once we're up there, we co-locate into one. That's just a rush.
All right, let's see it then. Anybody got cash on them?
All of a sudden,
I've got 20 bucks in my wallet.
Gigi kind of like rolls their eyes and digs into her suit pocket and pulls out a billfold. It's not a lot. They're not balling by any means, but she's got a good amount of pocket money.
Okay. Well, what's Gigi's resources? What's Gigi's resources?
Where would I find it? Because she's got fame and well connected. That's if I'm looking under merits. So, resources. I mean, you would think lawyer would have money.
Well, you know what they say, you gotta spend money to make money. And, well, yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything on my sheet that says resources, so.
Scott has stupid resources, or Marcus has stupid resources.
I guess he's footing the bill. Sounds good.
Yeah, Marcus usually does. So unless these things are priced like Airbnbs on Hawaii Island, I think we're good.
No, why would they be that cheap? Come on.
The whole reason we were asking about cash is because I don't want to use credit card.
Well,
Paper trail.
Marcus doesn't use a lot of credit or debit. Most of his shit is cash, just because of who he is.
Alright, so in we go then, I guess.
Yep. So we'll go in, and my mask can hold up to get in a hotel room or two.
Entering into the hotel is like stepping into the modern era. It is as if you are a visitor from years past. Based on the layout of the town, how everything looks, you are literally moving from the past into modernity. You're moving from colonial times to circa 1990 middle America comfort. There are two people behind the counter. It is clear that they were in the middle of a conversation. You don't see any cameras. You don't see any laptops or computers. You don't see any of that prevalent. There is a business center, which is literally a corner of the entrance foyer where everyone waits, or where people were supposed to wait if there was a line. And it has a big green, slightly tinted green screen with a keyboard and mouse and a huge CPU, roughly twice to three times the size of the ones that everyone uses now, sitting there. And it actually has an honest to goodness printer, those big fat cables that used to run from your CPU to your printer, the sort that took up 4 or 5 ports and that were a full finger's length in width. That sort of printer, a good old-fashioned inkjet that, well, the ink costs more than the printer. And the people behind the counter, they earnestly and honestly smile and stop the conversation. Well, hey there, how y'all doing? Hey, I was gonna talk to them first. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Walkerton Inn.
We're halfway between here and there and looking for a couple rooms for the night.
No, that's understandable. Most of the folks that stay here are looking for a night. Now, you know that the night wings that you all will be checking out at 11 a.m., would you prefer 2 nights or maybe 3?
No,
they wouldn't.
let's call it 2 nights.
2 nights. 2 nights. It will be more than no problem whatsoever. Now, would you guys need a turn down service? Now, you know Gertrude ain't gonna be on the ain't no turn down service. Oh, that's right. We are, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Normally we do have turn down service, but our daytime custodial engineer will not be in, so she will not be knocking on anyone's door tomorrow to wake y'all up. We do have a full service kitchen that is in the midst of putting together some 12-hour chili. It is to die for. It has corn and peas fresh from the farms in the area, and it is just something you have to try. It's actually more along the lines of a veggie chili con carne, but it is delicious, and the beef is local, fed straight from the farm, and as fresh as you can possibly imagine. See it to a perfectly golden brown. Now, as they're talking, here's several things that would immediately filter and float through you all's minds. 1, who all came in? 2, before we get to 2, who all came in?
Marcus came in because he's got the money.
Gigi would go because she is the most maybe put together and gift of the gab, I guess, being a lawyer. So
I would stay outside because I'm a bit worse for the wear.
So you're gonna stay outside in the dark night of this middle of nowhere town. Okay. Gigi, Marcus, did either of you rouse the vitae before walking into the brightly well-lit lobby?
You mean Blush of Life?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was done earlier in the day or earlier in the evening.
Let me double check.
You all didn't, because you were dealing solely with Kindred at the meeting.
Oh, then yes, she would have definitely done that before she went inside. So I'm gonna roll my rouse check. Okay, so that takes me down to 3 willpower, but I could not have that 300.
Yeah, it's just one roll. You don't need to willpower it. It means that your hunger increases. You don't lose a willpower.
Blush of Life, you don't get to reroll with willpower.
It's
Not until like Blood Potency 3 or something. Oh. So, Marcus is looking his normal, sickly but skinny and smiling self.
well, yeah, Genevieve definitely looks human and full of life, but she is a little peckish.
And the plump, slightly tanned, pinkish skin of these local denizens of the city reminds you very much of a suckling pig. Freshly roasted, potatoes and carrots, the pork chops tender enough to fall off the bone with the merest look. And there, sitting before you all, is the softest, pinkest, freshest cut of pork that you could ever savor. And they're so friendly. It'd be easy enough to get them to help you to your room with your imaginary bags and, well, help yourself a little bit. And so, with her being out, we will not be knocking on anybody's door, but we're going to get you all set up. Now, normally there's incidentals that's like $200, but because it is such a late hour of the evening, you're not going to get the full night stay. We're going to go ahead and forego that for you tonight. Now, again, we do have a full service kitchen. Like we're saying, the chili con carne is the absolute die for. However, there's also fresh made rhubarb pie. It is delicious. Do you all need anything brought to your rooms, or we take it there's gonna be rooms, and they look from Gigi to Marcus. That is gonna be 2 rooms, right?
2 rooms, yeah. The ladies will be enjoying their own place, and the men will be separated.
Ladies? Oh, there's more than one?
We have a couple friends out watching the cars while we make arrangements with y'all kind folks.
Well, now we only have rooms for two person occupancy. So if you're gonna need more than that, you're definitely gonna need 1 room for every 2 people, and they must be either married or engaged.
Well, we're single, and we won't be mixing company. We won't be mixing company. The men folk will stay separate from the women folk.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. How many men folk is it gonna be?
It's 3 of us men, 2 ladies.
All right. Well, that's going to be a minimum of 2 rooms. Now, we can get you a 3rd room for that, like if you all need more space, but we don't have any cots, which means one of y'all is going to have to either share. Wait a minute. No, we have a cot. I can go ahead and get that up to the room for them. But do we have enough blankets with all the other guests? Well, I think we do. Maria should have March made sure that the laundry was done. Let me go check real quick. And the gentleman had
Marcus slowly slides the $50 on top of whatever they've asked for. A cot will be just fine.
She pats your hand. Well, bless your heart. Make sure that laundry is fresh. And she slips it into her pocket without even mentioning anything else. As the gentleman heads off to find the cot and blankets and pillows and all of the accoutrements you might need to crash out on a cot in a hotel in the middle of nowhere.
We are just a little bit hungry, and that chili did sound good.
Well, that's not going to be ready quite until tomorrow. We do have a little bit of leftover of the oxtail soup. It's really just a bone broth soup, but our chef's take on a Jamaican dish he saw on the internets. He used Ash Jeeve and found this recipe. Now, I did require him taking out a lot of the spice because I did not know that there were so many different peppers that people put into their foods. No one needs more than a little salt, a little pepper, and maybe if you're going to get a little ethnic with it, a little garlic.
Well, I could patiently wait for tomorrow's chili if you could kindly find maybe a little bit of fried chicken you have hidden somewhere.
Oh, no yard burgers. That would take having to deal with Mr. McGreeve, and we do not do business with that farm any longer because of the things that happen out there.
Mr. McGreeve?
Mr. McCreevy, his son ran away to Indianapolis, leaving the old man to work the land himself, work all them yard birds that he had up there. And I don't want to spread too much gossip, but he is not the best caretaker. And I have seen them birds drop from 7-8 pounds down to a measly 4 or 5. And you know what they say, a skinny chicken ain't worth the licking, if you know what I mean. So we have stopped doing business with that particular individual. We do have a nice few cutlets from Haber's Butchery, but the 2-hour drive there and back sometimes makes the meat a little it makes the cuts a little more salty than they need to be, because we got to keep them fresh somehow. So, we make sure that they come in as fresh as we possibly can. But the drive is, well, a little taxing. They're a little underweight. I can't say that I have not had fresher chicken, but at least it's not, Mr. McGravy's.
Well, I just need a little picnic-like snack before the end of the night.
Well,
before we turn in.
We will do our best. We got some ayakuchen left. We got a little bit of boiled largemouth and a few trout floating around. I'm sure that we can whip up something very, very nice for you. We got the same oil that we have had for the last 17 years. It is absolutely delicious. We will get you something fried up real quick. I will call down, and she picks up the phone, and you have an immediate flashback to your youth. The receiver on that phone is big enough that you could probably cave in someone's skull. It is solidly put together and designed to outlast the original owner, which it clearly has several times over. And you hear the honest click, 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 click of a rotary being dialed. Click, 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 and click, 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 click.
Just make it clear that fowl of any kind, duck, pheasant, squab, any of that will do.
We do have some quail that is in season. I will make sure to give me a second here, and you hear the other line connect in only the way that the old-fashioned dial tones did, to let you know that your call successfully went through. You'd hear that dial tone, and then the other line picks up, and you hear a raspy mumbling as they go back and forth. 4.5 minutes into the conversation, the moment of food actually comes up. Now, we got guests right now. And okay, yes, the hungry, yes, a sickly little thing standing here all pale. Yeah, oh, of course, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put them in on the second floor. Yep, all the way down there at J. Yep, J and I'm not, what we can't do? L, so they're gonna do J and K across the hall from one another. So you can, I'll put them in facing the sun so that it's a little bit easier for them in the morning. How y'all, as always, so late getting up. I don't know what it is about y'all, Tessera. Yeah, of course. Okay, yep. I said yes. No, you going to? Okay, fine. I'll be down there in a minute. And she hangs up the phone and puts the biggest, brightest, toothy grin forward as if she had not just spilled all amounts of gossip and sly commentary about certain things to someone who, as of yet, is unknown. Our cook, our chef, has said that he will be able to fix something up real nice for y'all.
Well, that is right, sprightly of him. And in case it hasn't been clear, Marcus is turning his Ventrue bullshit to 11, trying to get to this conversation. We have a few things we got to take care of.
Now, our porter just wants to make sure that your cots and everything is ready, and I'll go ahead and process your payment. Now, is that going to be check or cash?
And Marcus pulls out just a stupid fucking billfold. And it's mostly packed with ones in the center and the big bills on the outside, but it looks fat.
As she said check, she was already dragging out the huge check copying knuckle buster of days of old, where they would take an imprint of the routing numbers that were embossed on the checks.
Home crank, a chunk.
With the copy and paper to make a copy of the check instead of a printer or a scanner. And as you pull up Cash, you can see her heart lift a little bit because she does not like this newfangled technology of having to use copy and paper and copy checks. It's unbecoming.
Oh no, man. We'll do cash on the barrelhead on this one.
That is so nice. 2 rooms for 2 nights with the cot, and so that's gonna bring your grand total to 5 times. That's gonna be 15 times 2. That's gonna be okay. That's gonna bring your grand total for 2 nights. So now bear with us. I do know that we are a little pricey. It's going to be $75. And we do not have change. So if you want to do 70 and then while you're staying here tomorrow during the day, go get your $5 so we can go ahead and clear that up. We can do that for you as well.
Well, you know what? You guys are bringing dinner tonight. Let's call it 200. Everything clear. And if I get peckish tomorrow, dinner's on you.
200. You are aware that we do not have change, and if you're gonna pay for 4 nights, I think that we. Well, you know what? We will make sure that we do our absolute best to take care of you.
The only thing we ask is that we got some stuff to take care of tonight, and we may be in a little late before dawn. Just let us sleep through the day. Give everybody the heads up that there are people napping.
Well, there's no one.
And leave us be.
Well, there's no one outside for the cleaning staff and Gertrude that might do a little knock up for you, but she's not in tomorrow. She's feeling under the weather, so it will be me and the Mister, and so we will make sure that you are not disturbed. I will make sure everybody knows.
That'd be perfect. I think we do the two sawbucks on the barrelhead. Call it square between us, and I won't look at the paperwork you pass the tax man at the end of the month. I think that's fair for everybody.
And months later, you all are back outside at your car, room secured, keys passed. You are, in fact, as you had stated over the phone, in rooms J and K. So back out of the car, while you all were inside, Lasky, would you be so kind as to do me a favor, roll your wits plus awareness?
Yes, sir. Oh, that is not the right character sheet, sorry. Wits plus awareness. Oh no, I don't have that big of a dice pool. I am low on, well, wait, no, I'm not. I shouldn't have done it, whatever. Yeah.
There are certain things that instinctually trigger a fear response.
Oh no.
In any sort of humanity, any sort of humankind. One of those things being the existential dread that crawls up the spine when you hear an honest to goodness wolf call, a howl that is answered by other howls, and not the dogs that you hear baying. No, not the sheepdog or farm dog baying in response. No, an honest to goodness, deep chest rattling howl that is picked up by other wolves. You're not sure where you heard it, but wolves don't howl because they're on a hunt is how they communicate when they are safely in their own territory. Wolves do not howl outside of their own hunting range. Wolves do not howl or hunt for one another and communicate outside their own hunting range, even when lost. Much like the old saying that each dog barks in their own yard, each wolf only howls in their own range. And hearing that sound, you're not sure how you know that it is in fact wolves and not dogs baying, because there's no moon in the sky. You know that those were wolves. You know that those were things that are nowhere near tamed or even thought about being tamed. And the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end, and the predator at the base of your spine begins whispering, "We are in danger. You brought us to hell. We are in danger. You brought us to our deaths. Now we can't leave."
But your belly aching.
And then a motorcycle goes driving by. It's loud pipes causing the windows to vibrate. And you're not sure how you know, but you do know that the rider steering down the street is doing a tour of the town. They're doing a security circuit, because you heard them coming before they were even anywhere within view, and you hear them passing. You watch how they lightly look left and right, but not at the streets or the cars or lack thereof, but at the homes and the people standing invisibly inside their places, those dreaming, and doing a light check. How many lights are on? How many cars are moving? How many people are on the street or in their windows or on their porches, or, well, how many strangers are in town?
Oh no. Did they spot me?
You're pretty sure they did. The cars stand out. You have the Bug, the Camaro, and the Ferrari, or was it a Lamborghini? Either way, a very high-end sports car that would be out of place in most suburbs anywhere in America.
Well then, I'm going to not go inside, but just keep an eye out, since I don't have Blush of Life on. And even if I did put Blush of Life on and walked into that store, I would be gushing out blood. So I have to just stick it out here and hope my friend come out soon.
And if wishes were fishes, we'd all live in the sea. However, in this particular case, soon, being a relative term, is 100% apropos. Because Marcus and Gigi are exiting the building, honest to goodness, keys in hand, not key cards.
Guys, I think we're in wolf territory. Shit, sorry. Lasky's gonna look a little scared, like, with, of course, his joking earlier, when he knew, oh, I guess he didn't know we were safe, but it was safe inside a metal machine. He could joke about talking to lupines, but he honestly doesn't really know how dangerous they are, and so him being outside, it was scary. If there were normal wolves or lupines.
Well, we've secured ourselves something on the second floor. I have the inkling of a plan for our protection. I say we get everybody inside as fast as possible, and make as many of those plans a reality as we can. If there are lupines here, inside a building is not going to be their natural state. So let's take advantage of the fact of what we have. We still have a thing to do here.
Yeah. The church in the morning/evening, the early evening, I guess. Yeah.
How do you guys get everybody?
Look, we're strangers. Yeah, we shepherd everybody in, split up along the lines we established earlier, officially, trying to be seen as doing so. Hopefully a porter or something is still dropping the cot off. But we get into the rooms and buttress down for a second. And once the porter leaves, knock on Gigi's door and invite them over.
I think they have CCTV cams.
Gigi kind of sticks her head out in the hallway. Shakes her head. As long as we can make sure that we are very much barricaded in, then I'm fine with whatever's going on. But the fact that we are in wolf country and on the side of the building that gets light first is a problem for me.
We'll be staying in the ladies' rooms, and before dawn, we'll move over and cram ourselves into whatever nook and cranny we can find. But the wolf issue is a concern for me. But I think I have a bit of a surprise learned in the chantry. If that pheasant ever makes it up the stairs.
Pheasant?
Yeah, I ordered dinner.
Ooh, I'm parched.
Not that kind of dinner, John. If you're in need of that kind of dinner, we still got hours to go before dawn, and we can make that happen.
Yes, but I'll need someone to watch me. Make sure I don't kill the... He looked around, glances around, didn't even realize he said something vampiric out loud where others could listen, and then if he sees no one, then he goes, I can really feel the beast screaming at me.
Well, it's not like we can find somewhere to get some food at tonight because obviously we are trying to stay here and away from the fucking lupines. Trust me, I'm hungry too. I was looking at old girl downstairs like she was a pork chop, but it would be rude to eat our hosts.
Would it? Wait, yes, it would.
I'm fairly certain that any hospital around here is going to keep too far good a track of any blood they might have for me to get in their meal. So we have to do a toss up. We've got hours. Do we think we can trust this town long enough for us to go out and make sure you two don't go nuts? Or do we bivouac, lock up the doors, and wait for the sundown before we go out?
That would risk... I don't know.
I mean, I can maybe make it till tomorrow, but I don't know about anybody else. And when we wake up, it depends on what the beast feels like doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are worried or near point where the beast is a real concern, I think it might behoove us to address that concern, and it'll let us move forward. Make sundown less an emergency would probably be better than waiting till the last minute. Once the mule gets up here, I'll have everything I need to try to reinforce our safety.
Can any of us move around undetected? Like, I know, what is it? Nosferatus can kind of like disappear. I can't do that. Why?
I mean, I'm decently stealthy, but I can't go into visibility.
I can get in and out pretty efficiently and effectively between moving too fast and being real sly. Do you have a plan with that?
I mean, are the rooms connected by like a middle door, or is it just two actual separate rooms?
Two actual separate rooms across the hall from each other.
Yeah, J and K face each other in a hallway. So one way or the other, you're gonna have to hop across the hallway.
Okay, and then on the way into town, did we see where the hotel was in the town? Not the hotel, the hospital was, or clinic, or whatever was in the town, or did we not?
No.
I think we're gonna have to stick it out for the night. We don't know where nothing is in the town, and I don't want none of us going out and listening, going by ourselves and getting hunted down. You know them lupines can smell what we are.
We do have a history of having bad luck when we split up.
Why don't we all stay in one room?
We do have somebody bringing up a bite to eat over to the boys' room. I'm not sure where you all stand with making that be less of a problem. I may have been bit by a venture, but I definitely am not one.
So we're making somebody a snack because they're bringing up snacks.
A little soon.
Well, then, since it's going to the guys' room, I think John would be best off over there and do what he needs to do. I'm needing to stay over here, and I'm not too bad off. I can wait.
John, what do you think? You want to wait with me over in the other side? Me and Eddie can stay with the ladies? When
As long as you can potentially rip me off them.
I have a better chance than some.
Yeah, I best stay with you.
And that's the funny thing
I'm
about
the strongest, but I certainly am the fastest.
that's the funny thing about timing. It always is very, very anti anyone's ideas of plan. So as you all open the door, as you all open the room door to step across the hall, standing in the hall itself is an auburn-haired woman with thin, wire-rimmed glasses. Her hair looks as if it was a 70s styled natural or perm afro for a woman of that youthful age. It is clear that she's older than her youthful appearance, and as she stares at the damaged visage of John, with you all coming out of the room together, she raises a brow and sighs. It's a sigh that, for those of you old enough, you would remember Mr. Wilson having every time he heard, "Mr. Wilson!" It is the sigh of eternally being put upon. It is a sigh of knowing things are about to get very, very bad.
Oh, I think I lost you. Hold on.
Holding on for dear life. Oh. You back?
Hello?
It does seem as if your camera is on, but there's nothing to show.
And there's no Marcus. Oh, there's Marcus.
Oh, there he is. Okay, my thing freaked out a little bit. Still hearing me?
Yep.
Can you hear us is the
Okay.
question.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
So the auburn-haired, wire-rimmed glasses young lady holding a tray of food standing before you sighs. It's a knowing sigh that there's going to be trouble. Something will go wrong. There's an understanding that people who have experienced Murphy's Law are all too familiar with.
Well, Marcus is going to approach first, smile, nod, use the key to open K. Is that my dinner?
And she looks from John to you and asks, very pointedly, are the ladies inside okay? Or was that
the ladies are fine. We're just having a meeting before we decide whether we want to go out tonight and do some work or wait until later after having a nap. We've been on the road a long time and don't want to overburden ourselves, but we also don't want to drop the ball on what we're trying to get done.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, I don't believe this is what you're actually seeking. And she looks again at Lasky, who has a mortally ending slew of wounds across his person. And one of the many side effects of blushing to get past the persons at the counter is that the wounds leak, they seep a little. And it is clear that looking at John, that there's no way that he should be as ambulatory as he is.
Ambulatory.
He's just worse off than he looks. Trying to make a joke of it.
Hearing this, is Juju going to remain hiding with Nikki inside the room?
No, Gigi is gonna stick her head out in the hallway. I told you take it overboard with that special effects makeup.
Oh, it's fun with the special effects.
Scaring this poor girl thinking you're near death.
Oh, haven't you watched the newest zombie craze show?
You know that's not my particular thing. And she turns to look at the girl in the hallway. Aren't you pretty?
Marcus is avoiding while they're doing the interchange, he's going to open the door to Kay. Open the door and keep it open and go inside. And try to find a flat surface to drop the food on.
I'm sorry. Policy isn't for us to actually go into the rooms. You'll have to take it from here.
That is not a problem. And Genevieve, feeling like she would be slightly less threatening than the guys, very carefully walks forward, takes the tray, gives her a smile, polite, and then turns and walks back towards the room.
Marcus is coming to a point of it's time to pull chalk and get out of this before it can get nasty.
And she also makes sure not to go into the room with Marcus just because of the whole, this is what seems to have set this whole thing off. She stands very carefully at the door. Come get your tray.
Marcus pulls out a tenner and smiles to the young lady. John, get your ass in the room. It's dinner time. Hands the $10 to the girl and takes the tray.
Well, I wish you all luck storming the tower and know that you won't succeed if that's your goal. And I wish you luck for whatever it is that has brought you this far. You will have an enjoyable evening. And is that a threat?
Am I being a lawyer? Am I picking up anything in the way she's saying that?
Yeah, I was going to say, can I roll wits and awareness to check for breathing?
Can I roll wits and awareness to check if this thing's human?
Wits and awareness for breathing? Nah.
Insight? Or just wits?
I think this is divine.
Wits plus insight. 3 from DC 7.
That's just mean.
You know nobody.
Was that just for Marcus?
For everyone, whoever would like to at this point, because you all have a similar idea. Not sure where it came from, but
Her very carefully chosen words.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try doing this. Seven. Forgot I did that wrong. Shit.
Are we going combined successes or each separate?
each separate.
The Boeing 747 has failed the roll. And there's no winning that roll. Even if I do get crits.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh, we're all having fun times today. Yo.
Hey, I only failed.
Hey, I only failed. Me and Gigi have bestial failures.
Well, here's the thing. Even if they were kindred, being blushed literally makes you all but invisible, except for those who know, or you reveal yourself through the use of an ability of the undead. And it's clear that if she is kindred, she is blushed. And a very fine actress, because there's the making of life, there's the eyes going large and fearful as Lasky and Gigi have had enough of the bullshit. Lasky because, well, dinner is sitting literally right there. One girl missing for a few hours as she's worked over mentally till she doesn't know what happened. There's a small price to pay to have a satiated beast get off his back so heavily. Gigi is having a hard time believing that she is in fact she. There's some verbal tonal visual androgyny that throws the whole mix off, and it's a little frustrating to say the least, because there's physical characteristics and traits and the skin tone, the hair, the glasses, the manner of speech. It is social legalese designed to confound, and no one seeks to confound unless, of course, they have something to hide. So for both John and Gigi, as their fangs drop due to frustration and hunger, not sure human, alive or otherwise, but definitely problematic, what is it that you all are attempting to do?
I have fleetness. Do I get, did they telegraph their punch at all? Or am I going to get caught flat-footed on this?
Lasky was hungry. Lasky was starving and ravenous. You knew that. And even with him roused, there's no way to mistake him for anything more than a predator. The fact that you are stalling in the hallway with a human for longer than 3 seconds is about as much warning as you need or should have.
Okay, then Marcus is going to interpose. I'm going to take that half a beat where Lansky's brain catches up with his beast and interpose himself. And he's holding the tray of food. So he's going to hold up the tray of food in his way. Hopefully setting off a gag reflex of some kind, but basically he's just trying to hold him in bay with the cooked pheasant.
Lasky's going to charge at the lady.
Alright.
Trying to, because that's a meal right there. Because of the bestial failure, even if I do get to her and I don't kill her, it's still gonna be a fucking stain. Anyways.
GG.
Oh no.
I only interpose myself in front of one person, so.
Yeah. What would I need to give? I know it's a bestial failure. What would I need to give myself, like maybe a second or two to second guess this, or am I just done and going for it?
No, your face popped into place due to Gigi's frustration. There's no frenzy, but it is clear without a shadow of a doubt that Gigi is unfortunately one of those monsters that you've seen on TV on that show, Undead Journals, or
and right now Lasky's literally just a zombie.
Frustration in mind. I am going to try, I don't know, I guess to get her to answer a question or to compel her to answer me so that I get that whatever is setting me into anger answered.
All right. Well, now, two things. What is your actual phrasing as you attempt to make eye contact, and what is Gigi's blood potency? And while that is happening, Mr. Lasky, would you be so kind as to roll your strength plus brawl? And Marcus, would you be so kind?
No.
Would you be so kind as to roll your strength and athletics? Lasky is the initiator.
One. She's got a blood potency of 1, and she would kind of snarl, "What are you really? Tell the truth."
Are you going to use any dominate?
Yeah, I have compel.
I see. Well, now that changes almost absolutely nothing.
Like, oh fuck.
Simple command to speak. Would you roll your charisma plus dominate? So several things happen at once, as they always do in situations where moments bleed one thing into the next. It seems as if everything is happening in the inescapable, constant, ever-present now. John takes off like a dart. Surprisingly, he's far more nimble when given to his baser instincts. And as Marcus interposes himself in the tray between John and this young lady, tray goes flying and scattering all over the place, as do Marcus and John as they tumble, just barely missing the woman, who immediately throws her hands, one hand in front of the other raised at eye level, and Gigi catches her gaze through the glasses. And they exchange a heartfelt moment as Gigi snarls and issues a command, attempting to seize hold of the mind behind those carefully phrased requests and the bidding for goodnight, and the surprising aplomb when both pairs of fangs snapped into place. And as Gigi reaches across the distance, invisibly attempting to seize hold of the mind therein, she is rebuffed as if she is a child attempting to cling on to a toy being snatched away by their parent. The mind therein shrugs her off as if she's a coat, and the woman plants her back foot, moving so that her right hand is forward. I don't know what sect you all are, but you best provide the information now. This is my domain. This is my hospitality that you are abusing. Explain yourselves. And as John snarls and attempts to break free of Farmer, and Gigi, for the first time in a very long time, has had their efforts batted aside so handily. I'd like to thank you all for a lovely episode, and look forward to our next session. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Laser dude.
This scene that's going on in